All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a book that is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful memoirs you'll ever read. We're talking about Frank McCourt's Pulitzer Prize-winning masterpiece, Angela's Ashes. It's a story of absolutely unbelievable hardship, but, and this is the key, it's told with a voice that's somehow, against all odds, full of humor.
And that's really the big question this book asks, right? It's a story that's going to challenge you, it's going to move you, and in the end, it's going to show you the incredible, incredible strength of the human spirit to find a little bit of light in even the darkest, bleakest places.
Okay, so first up, a Limerick childhood. Let's set the scene. We're in Limerick, Ireland, back in the 1930s and 40s. And you know what? Forget every picturesque image of Ireland you have in your head. This is not that place. This is a world of nonstop rain, of crushing poverty, and a childhood that was basically a day-to-day fight just to survive. You gotta understand, this setting here isn't just a backdrop. It's practically the main villain of the story. The constant rain and dampness just breeds sickness. There's one single toilet for the entire neighborhood, and it constantly floods the ground floor of their home. It gets so bad they have to move upstairs to what they ironically call Italy, because it's the only dry land. It's this oppressive force they're battling every single day. So let's meet the family at the heart of all this. The whole story really boils down to this constant tug of war between two unforgettable parents. Angela, the mother who's fighting tooth and nail to keep her kids alive, and Malachi, the father who is, well, he's both their biggest source of joy and their deepest, deepest sorrow. Angela, man, she is the anchor of this family. But she is constantly on the verge of sinking. She's begging for scraps of food, she's worrying herself sick over her children's health, and she's putting up with the constant humiliation of her husband drinking away the little money they have. McCourt uses this phrase to describe her, demented with worry. And wow, that just perfectly captures the impossible weight she was carrying. And then there's his dad, Malachi. And he is a walking contradiction. On a good day, he's this magical storyteller, filling Frank's head with these epic tales of Irish heroes. But on payday, that same man comes stumbling home from the pub, having spent all the food money, and then he has the nerve to demand his starving son's promise to die for Ireland. It's this constant whiplash, this Jekyll and Hyde that really defines Frank's entire world. Look, to really, truly get this memoir, you just have to hear it in McCourt's own words. So we've picked out 5 quotes that we think perfectly capture the book's totally unique mix of heartbreak and, somehow, humor. This first one just gets right to the core of what this family is always searching for, just a little bit of dignity. These moments when they actually have a full week's wages, they're so incredibly rare. And it's not about wealth, not at all. It's about being able to look the shopkeeper in the eye. It's about being able to afford toilet paper. For Angela, that's what it means to be a respected human being. And the fact that these moments are so fleeting just makes the whole thing even more heartbreaking. Okay, this next quote, this is the book's voice in a nutshell. So young Frank hears an adult say someone's floor is so clean you could eat your dinner off of it, and his kid brain just can't compute. He's just baffled, thinking, but why would you do that? There's a table right there. And that's it. That's the magic of the book. It's this completely literal, innocent perspective that finds absurdity and humor in the most miserable situations. It's just brilliant. This quote here is Frank's childhood attempt to make sense of the most confusing and important person in his life, his father. I mean, how incredibly insightful is that for a little kid? He understands his dad isn't just one person. He's 3. He's the sober, quiet dad in the morning. He's the amazing storyteller at night. And then there's the one who does the bad thing. It's such a perfect and honestly devastating way for a child to process a parent who's both his hero and his tormentor. So you really can't talk about 1930s Ireland without talking about the huge role of the Catholic Church. And this quote shows just how deeply it seeped into Frank's mind. So he's taught that all Protestants are doomed to hell, right? But when he sees some Protestant girls playing, his reaction isn't judgment or hate, it's pity. His very first instinct is this deep desire to save them from their terrible fate. It just goes to show you that underneath all that harsh religious teaching, Frank's fundamental kindness always, always shines through. And finally, our last quote. This one is all about the dream. This is the light at the end of a very, very long and dark tunnel that powers the whole story. For Frank, America isn't just a place on a map. It's a paradise. It's the complete opposite of Limerick.
It's a place where there isn't a river trying to kill you, a place where you can get a job and be warm. It's escape. And this dream of America becomes his singular obsession, the thing that gives him the strength to keep going.
Okay, next up, the escape to America. So he has this massive dream, this obsession. But how on earth does a dirt poor kid from the lanes of Limerick actually make it happen? Well, let me tell you, it was a heck of a journey. This kid was nothing if not resourceful. He starts by earning his first few coins reading to an old man. Then he gets this amazing job as a telegram boy, which he loses after a completely bizarre and hilarious incident involving sherry and a ham sandwich. You really have to read the book for that story. And finally, he takes a job that's a little morally questionable. He starts writing threatening collection letters for a local moneylender. But every single shilling he makes goes into one thing, the America Fund. All right, final section, our final verdict. After all that misery, all those little moments of joy, and that desperate escape, what's the ultimate takeaway from Angela's Ashes? Let's break it down. Here's the most profound thing about this book. The real lesson isn't just something in the story. The book is the lesson. The very act of Frank McCourt surviving all of that and then having the strength to write it all down, that's his ultimate triumph. He didn't just endure his childhood, he took ownership of it, he turned it into art, and he used his voice to make sense of it all. That is resilience. So what's our final take? Well, let's be honest, the book's unflinching look at poverty can make it a really, really tough read. It is bleak. But, and this is the key, what makes it a masterpiece is that unique voice. McCourt's ability to find dark humor and absurdity through the eyes of a child makes it absolutely compelling and, against all odds, just so full of life. For its profound humanity, its literary brilliance, and for creating one of the most unforgettable voices in all of modern literature, we are giving Angela's Ashes a final grade of 9.5 out of 10. It's just a must-read. And if this story really resonated with you and you're wondering what to read next, we've got two for you. First, you absolutely have to pick up The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. It's another incredible memoir about surviving a wild childhood with deeply flawed parents. And if you want to stick with that theme of a young man trying to escape the confines of Ireland, you can't go wrong with the classic James Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. And that is our explainer on Angela's Ashes. It's a story that proves that even out of the deepest misery, something truly beautiful and powerful can grow. Thanks so much for watching, and hey, be sure to follow and subscribe for more deep dives into the works that really matter.